I I've never been to a city, state, or country where hotel stays were free. Not for the homeless, not for the military, not for anyone. A hotel is a business. If the people that are staying in your hotel are not paying, your business will go under. Whose responsibility is it to take care of certain people indefinitely? What people don't understand is that when they wear t-shirts and they want to talk about freedom, it's not just when it's convenient for you. With freedom comes responsibility. And when I say responsibility, I don't mean responsibility for others. Freedom means you have a responsibility for yourself. You're self governing. You have to self survive. You have to self pro you and your family. It is not the job of others to make sure you have somewhere to sleep during the winter. That's what the other three seasons are for you to work. It comes down, in my opinion, to the story of the grasshopper and the ant. The grasshopper played around all summer, all spring, all fall, had a good time. But guess what the ant was doing? Was working because he knew a cold winter was upon us. And when the winter came, the ant had shelter and warmth, and the grasshopper was outside in the cold. The whole problem with the Democrat liberal policies is that they think that money is infinite and that I guess that it grows on trees. It does not, because it wouldn't be fair that you don't have to pay for housing, but I do. Why? Now, if you're severely disabled where you can't walk and you can't feed yourself, we have compassion for those people, but not just for people who say they just don't want to work and we owe them. That's not going to happen.
It's Fox 13 News, the most watched news in the Mid-South.
Dozens of Memphis families on the verge of homelessness could lose their homes in just days. They've been living in this Whitehaven hotel for months now, but they just learned they have to leave the hotel by Monday morning.
You've had months to make arrangements and to make plans. The government is not your master. The country is not a plantation. And even when there were slaves on plantations, from what it sounds like, those people were gainfully employed. So people didn't mind you living for free on their property as long as you were working. So that's why I kind of take a huge issue when people complain to me about indentured servitude and slavery, because these are the same people that today want to live like slaves without the work. So you don't want to be free. You want another person to tell you what to do, to tell you where you're going to live, and to take care of you. An adult, you're a grown adult. You want someone else to be responsible for you. Not just a person, you want the government, you want daddy government, you want Trump to find a way to give money to a hotel so that you can stay there for free. So you're willing to give up your freedom to provide for yourself, freedom to self-govern. You want to give that up for free stuff, free accommodations, free food. That's not how it's going to work. If the hotel cannot get money to pay for your stay, then the hotel cannot remain open. If the hotel closes, what happens to the employees? Where are they going to live? How are they going to pay their bills? Now they're with you. Do you see why we can't take certain people seriously and we can't listen to them? They don't have a plan. They have nothing. And literally, you're enabling these people. They should have all been looking for accommodations. Months is a very long time. If you're temporarily out of work, you go work where you can until you can choose to work somewhere that you like. But you have to do what you have to do. That is what comes with freedom. I don't understand why this concept is all of a sudden just lost on certain people. I don't get it.
Fox 13's Your Money investigator, Kate Beery, is joining us live tonight. Kate, we're talking about more than 100 people being impacted.
More than 100 people who choose to live a lifestyle that does not include self governance and work. It is a choice. These are not people. They're not saying they're getting kicked out of hospital rooms because they're quadruple amputees. These are actually people that are mobile, that actually have mobility, that can work. They have opposable thumbs. They're not handicapped. They just don't want to work. And you can't sit here as a at a Fox studio and say more than 100 people. This is a choice. Homelessness, to live homeless is a lifestyle choice, the same way living gay is. And just because I choose not to be gay doesn't mean I can judge people because that's their lifestyle. Same thing goes for being homeless. Just because you want to live in the street, I don't want to be homeless. So I work. If you want to be homeless, that's your lifestyle choice. That's your freedom. But you can't choose to live like a communist where you want the government to take care of you, or but yet you still want to beg a capitalist to enable you. That's not going to work. You have to take care of yourself, or you're going to have to just figure it out. But you can't expect me and my tax dollars to fund your horrible choices. This is an absolute choice.
Yeah, Darcy, some of the families tell us they've been living at the Travelodge on Brooks Road behind me for weeks or even months. They tell us this was a program designed to provide temporary shelter to families facing homelessness, and everyone got this letter saying they have to be out of the building by Monday morning.
Okay, so for everybody who says Rico is an asshole, let's look up the definition of the word temporary. Okay. What is the definition? Temporary means lasting for a limited time, not permanent. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back to the damn story. She just said a few seconds ago, temporary, right?
Or even months. They tell us this was a program designed to provide temporary.
There we go. It was a program to provide temporary. If you want to live in Cuba, you can live for free. Back in my home country, we don't. Everyone's equally poor, so we have housing councils, and you can live off the government indefinitely. But you're not going to make money. Everyone gets rations every month, and it's crazy that how many people in America want to go back to. They want everyone to live like that. They want everyone to live like them. They want everyone to live off of government cheese and basically have a Hunger Games society where all equally poor. That defeats the entire purpose of living in the country. I don't see why people even remain in the United States if you don't want to work. If you don't want to do anything with yourself, go to another country that will enable you. This is not the place. And you're literally having to fight tooth and nail. You have to beg and pull on heartstrings to survive. Is that even living? You're not even taking advantage of the opportunity and the blessing of being in the United States if that's your lifestyle choice. So I'm having a hard time seeing where this hotel, where this travel lodge, which is a business, but that's the problem. No good deed goes unpunished. They gave you free accommodations for 2 months, but now that's not enough. But it's like, should they have just gave you zero? The answer is yes. They should have never been nice enough to help in the first place. Now you wouldn't be stuck trying to evict these people, because what happens in the next week when these people say, well, we're not leaving? Then what do you do?
Shelter to families facing homelessness, and everyone got this letter saying they have to be out of the building by Monday morning.
I'm kind of angry, sad, anxious, not knowing where we're going to go after this. What are we going to do? We got kids with us.
Now, not to be racist, but I don't know why I can listen to this lady's voice and I can guess what she looks like. I can guess who she voted for. I can guess um, her marital status. I can guess what she looked. I can guess everything about this woman just by listening to her voice. The level of entitlement is insane. You bust it open. You have children. You were not married, don't have a man in your life. You do all these different things, and then you want me, who did not have sex with you, to contribute to your survival. And you do nothing for anyone else but yourself. You're not contributing to society. You're not working. You're not adding. You're just taking away. And you're creating these children, they learn this from their parents. Like she learned this from her parents. See, if her parents worked, she'd probably be working, but her parents also gamed the system. This whole liberal Democrat system in these states of welfare has literally created a class of dependents that will never grow up and become adults. So, but you got to think about it. People in that position, they vote Democrats, so the Democrats enable them. This is their base. They want you to stay down because once you start taking care of yourself, self-governing, and being responsible, well, everything about what I just said is right-leaning. That's what the people on the right do. So you lose voters. Even this whole where they want to fight ICE, this is all about maintaining the amount of voters they have, and they're losing them to deportation. It's crazy. The party has to survive off of you being poor or you being an illegal criminal. I mean, there's nothing righteous about it. This whole thing is just a joke. It's a clown show. And these people are sitting here. They're not on camera. They don't want to be there. They're not even. They don't even want to. They know it's an embarrassment for them to come on camera and complain about how they're not getting free stuff in America. Nothing is free at all. If you want other people to give you something for free, that means that their labor is being turned into something for you. You're not doing anything in return. So now they're your slave. They're taking care of you. You're not doing anything in return. So now they work for you. They're your slaves. You're not compensating them at all. So how is that fair? It isn't. And this travel lodge, whoever their manager was, but you got to think about it. If the city, what they're saying is that there's nonprofits that were basically paying for these rooms, and the city was giving money to the nonprofits. But now the cities are saying, okay, look, that fund for that program, it ran out of money. It's exhausted. And these nonprofits, you got to think about it. They have a board of directors. They have salaries. So it could be 30-40% of that money went into people's pockets. So they might have thought we got 6 months to pay for this, but after expenses, it comes down to about 2.5-3 months because the rest of the money that they allocated goes towards, again, your salaries and other expenses to run a nonprofit. But think about it. No matter what, I mean, something is better than nothing. But these people are complaining because they're going to get kicked out. My question is, what are you going to do? Have police come in there with SWAT team and individually push out every single family? It's October. So in some parts of the country, it's going to start snowing pretty soon. So what are you going to do? Just have them camping in front of your hotel? Or are you going to go now do another form of eminent domain and take over another location and put these people there? Wow. That's why you can't even start taking care of people, because there is no end. You'll never stop. Once you start giving out free stuff, there is no, okay, well, let me go back to charging you for this. They're not going to pay. That's why you never start in the first place. That's a big mistake. Being too nice, being kind, being too considerate is a failed policy.
A young mother sheltering inside the hotel wanted to share her anxiety. She asked to talk over the phone because she fears retaliation.
A lot of
Retaliation from who? From taxpayers? No, you're just embarrassed that it's 2025 and you still want to be a slave. You want to live on a plantation. You want to be provided free housing. You just don't want to do the work part. You like slavery minus the work. And that's why I always say. People love slavery. Every chance they get, they reference slavery. I'm watching Steven Crowder. They're in a barbershop. It's 2025. These people are talking about slavery like they were personally in it. And I'm like, okay, they're obsessed with it, but apparently a plantation is their mental safe space. That's where they go back to. Everything about this is you wanting to be taken care of by someone else. That sounds like the slave master slave dynamic. That's exactly what that is. That you're not free. But these people don't want to be free. They want to be dependents. So it's crazy. It's like you're forcing freedom on some people and other people are fighting for it. These people don't want it. They want to be slaves and they should be obliged. We should not be forcing them to take care of themselves or to have freedom. They don't want freedom. They just want free stuff. So, what is the, there's no argument anymore when it comes to this.
Just don't have anybody that we could go to and lean on.
Fox 13 obtained
Because you've drained everybody in your life, your family, your friends. They're like, this person don't want to leave my house. They don't want to work. And they keep getting pregnant. Pregnancy isn't something that happens when you trip and fall over a rock. You don't get pregnant if you use the restroom wrong. It requires some type of sex. And everybody knows sex requires alcohol, music, a party environment, some fun. It's not necessary. It's basically it's not obligatory. Like it's optional. You don't have to have all that sex. So yeah, you don't have people because you've drained them, and people don't see the point of helping you because then there's no stopping it. So now you don't went through all your family, and now you're depending on nonprofits in the city. Who comes next? Eventually, you're going to have to grow up and take care of yourself.
this letter from management. It reads, quote, "To all the social program clients, want to notify you that your last day will be October 20th, 2025. You will have to check out at 8 a.m. sharp that morning."
They're serious, and they should be. They got to get those people the hell out of there, or they won't have jobs because they won't have a hotel to work at anymore. So it's either you or them. The people that want to work versus the people that don't believe they should have to work. And if I'm sorry, I'm choosing me, the worker.
If you have not already prepared for somewhere else to go or what your plans are going to be, it's best that you plan ahead of time.
I have a lot of young children myself, and it really is heartbreaking. And a lot of these people have disabilities.
Don't speak for these people. Speak for your damn self. Or a lot of these people have, so you don't have disabilities, but the other people do. Why are you speaking for them? What they want to do is create a block of sympathy where you're going to be forced to feel guilty at night. But I'm sorry, it's business over emotions. Yeah, I can't be too emotional that I risk losing everything just because I don't want to seem insensitive. That's not a good strategy, and it's not responsible to do that either.
Like some of these people can barely walk.
The general manager sent a statement to Fox 13, which reads, quote, "At this time, I cannot comment about this. All I can say is that the attachment you got speaks for itself. This was a city program, so you might want to call them for more information." We did just that. A city spokesperson wrote, quote, "The city is not directly paying for any hotel stays. We understand that some nonprofit agencies have placed unhoused individuals at the Travel Lodge. These agencies may or may not receive city funding for broader homelessness initiatives, and decisions about where to house individuals or families are made independently by the agencies."
Everybody just gonna have to figure it out.
Program. Bingo. We used to call this before everybody became so uptight. This is what they call tough love, right? You don't want to listen to your parents. Your parents tell you, you know what, you got to get the hell out. Now, your parents could be irresponsible and they can say, yeah, you don't want to work, you don't want to do anything. You can just stay here at home for free and just become a lazy piece of trash. But if your parents, especially if you're a man, because the world doesn't feel sorry for men. I'll be honest, I probably bet there's not one man in this entire hotel that's over the age of 14 because they're probably going to be male kids. No one feels sorry for men. The world doesn't care if you're a man and you're on the streets, to hell with you. People feel sorry for women because women give birth. and that's pretty much the extent of it. You're like, well, we're going to need somebody to have kids, but you have to be a responsible person if you're going to be a parent. But again, with freedom comes responsibility, but that doesn't mean you need to be responsible for others. You have to be responsible for yourself. These are people that don't want to be responsible for themselves. Now, I think there should be some sort of option for people that want to opt into slavery. Another form of slavery besides prison, they do need another form of, they do, slavery is a form, prison is a form of slavery. Living in the projects in the 70s and 80s, where they put all those black families, that was slavery as well. The problem with the modern day slavery is that it doesn't require labor. When they're in prison, they're not forced to work all the time. They actually give you the option if you want to work or not. That's a waste of a slave. If these people want to commit crimes and become slaves, because legally you're a slave. Slavery never ended. It just became only allowed when you're a prisoner. So you break the law, you become a slave again. That's what I think that's the 13th Amendment or the 14th. Now, when you want to live off the government, that is that's a form of slavery as well. Now, if people want to live off of the government and don't want to be free, and they want to live in sort of like projects or reservations, there can be sanctioned areas where there is no freedom to do what you want. They give you some sort of low skill labor that you can do, and your housing and your food will be covered to a point. I'll be honest, I think that's a better option for the homeless than to just be temporarily renting out hotel rooms and telling them to do stuff. There must be an exchange of labor for assistance. You can't just allow these people to just sit around lethargic and not contribute anything. Something has to give. Money does not come out of thin air. There has to be an exchange for service. In this situation, I would suggest building. You can call it the plantation. Maybe people would be so embarrassed they have to live on a plantation that they'll rather work than live on a plantation. But if you don't want to, you're going to have to go live on a plantation, and housing will be free. You will be given 2 meals a day, but every day you're going to be required to do some sort of work, whether it's weaving clothes or making, like they do in prison, making license plates. Yeah, you're not paid much because half of the money you make goes towards taking care of you. It's basically the dynamic of how the slaves used to live. The slaves used to live for free on the property and they got free food in exchange for them picking crops. It was a fair exchange. It's still gainful employment. But for these people that don't want to work, you're going to have to do that, or you would have to let them go hungry. If you keep enabling them and feeding them forever, why would they work? I'm from LA. I live in downtown LA. I remember year after year, there were homeless people I saw that were gaining weight. How is that happening? How are you gaining weight, sir? You're bigger than you were last year. I thought you would be starving. You are homeless. But because one thing I learned about weight, right? You have to maintain it. How are you keeping your size? Like, what's your secret? Because you're not even malnutritioned. But then if you drive into Skid Row, like I would get on a Razor scooter and go over there. Every single day there's churches and all type of people that just pull up and just give out free food all day long. But yet 2 streets away where I live, no one's giving me free nothing. No free food, no free milk, no free orange juice. I got to go over there with the people that smell to get free stuff. Why can't the shower get free stuff? See, I don't like inequality. That's not fair. That's an inequality right there. If you're going to give free stuff to some people, give free stuff to all people, or free stuff to nobody, nadie. If not, you're just creating an entire class of people who are never going to be self-dependent, and they're going to just be dependent on the state and taxpayers. Again, if people want to be slaves, you have to let them. I think we've been fighting people that want to be slaves. We've been because remember when slavery ended, they told people, yeah, you can just leave now, and they were like, and go where? I got a good thing worked out here with the guy in the big house. I got a house, I got a wife, I got kids. They had families back then. Now that they have all this freedom, there's no families. There's tons of issues with not being employed. There are a lot of them are gay. There's a lot of issues that comes along with not having any sort of stability because, in their mind, if you look at the Supreme Court justice, she even said just being black itself is a mental disability. So they don't feel like they can work. What if the woman that's the Supreme Court justice, what if she's right? And the rest of us are just in denial. What if Ketanji Brown Jackson is correct about what she said? And they want to be slaves. They're mentally disabled. They can't take care of themselves. Well, then a person who can't take care of themselves, why are you forcing them to take care of themselves when they're not going to be able to do it? You can't. The logical thing to do would be to tell them what to do, tell them where they can live, and make sure and put them to work. And then also in these jails, stop giving everybody all these liberties, TVs, put people to work. They should be in jail doing work. That was the whole point of slavery, is so that you can get free labor. The state, how much does it charge a year per inmate? Like 100 and something thousand. And we have the largest prison population in the world. That's a lot of labor. And now that we're going to have to start doing work because of the tariffs, and now that everything, we're going to have to start buying American, we need to produce more stuff in America. If we have to create plantations again so that people will have somewhere to work who want to be slaves, and by wanting to be slaves, you don't want to take care of yourself. You feel entitled to government assistance and you want to get a free hotel to live in. Okay, put fences around this hotel, turn it into a plantation location, and you shuttle the parents to work while the kids go to daycare and they can actually start to produce. Their freedom is limited. They don't want freedom. With freedom comes responsibility to take care of yourself. While you're living under the government's roof, our roof, you're going to have to do what we tell you to do. You're going to have to work. And that's how it's going to have to go, because right now, this system and how we're doing things, it's counterproductive and it's un-American. People just not wanting to do anything and not wanting to take care of themselves, that's the opposite of being an American. Remember, with freedom comes responsibility for one's self.
Darcy, here's the bottom line. Dozens of families are just days away from homelessness.
Fuck this lady's voice. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not being too vulgar, but I really don't like the fact that she's sitting here trying to be so. Lady, how many of these black families you about to let come move into your house? Dirty liberal. None. Zero. So don't sit here and expect me to want to pay for them. You don't want to pay for them. You're trying to shame the viewers into wanting to pay for these people. But how much of your salary are you willing to donate to the travel lodge to keep these people housed? Zero. I literally despise people. I despise people that are like this, that are telling you to do something that they wouldn't do themselves. I'm about to do it. My next video is going to be on Don Lemon, telling people to go get weapons to attract agents. But Don, when was your last gun purchase? When did you buy some ammo? Why aren't you out there putting in work yourself? So you want to convince other people to literally throw their lives away. And the reason I say throw your life away is because this is the federal government. You're either going to get killed, or you're going to go to prison forever. And your life is over. You're trying to convince other people to do something that you're not even dumb enough to do. And look at this lady right here trying to make me feel sad about these people being put out, but she won't even do anything about this. She has a house. I'm sure she has extra bedrooms. How many of these black families who don't want to work, but they're able-bodied, they just don't want to work. They just want to have sex and chill. And don't get me wrong. Have sex and chill sounds good. Oh, what? I'd like to be having sex and chill right now, but I can't. I have a country to save. Now, once my country is stable, I'll find me a little ranch out in the middle of nowhere, get me a wife, and just have sex and chill my damn self. But I can't right now because things have to be done. And apparently the only things moving the needle are people talking about stuff that everybody else is shying and too shy and too timid to want to go head up against. So that's why I'm here. But no, you can't just, if you don't want to put up these women who just want to have sex and relax all day, don't expect the rest of us to do it either. I'm sorry, Miss Reporter. Your name is, I don't know what the hell her name is, and I don't like her. I, as an individual, I don't like liberals. I don't like Democrats. I don't like any of these people because they use sympathy to manipulate you into doing things that are against your own self-interest. And I don't respect that. I don't like manipulative people in general. That's why I'm not with my ex-girlfriend. I just don't. I can't.
Homelessness here in Whitehaven. One woman told us the third and the fourth floor of that hotel are designated for shelter. She estimates anywhere from 100 to 200 people could lose their homes on Monday morning.
This is not your home, lady. This is a whole goddamn hotel. This is a hotel. This is actually a travel lodge. This is for temporary visitors to pay per night. At this travel lodge right here, I would be honest, looking at the area that they're in the city of Memphis, $88 a night for a room here. $88, and probably on the weekends, $95 a night. With tax, it would come out to $102.23 or something like that. I'm pretty sure. I'm call me wrong. So think about it. Every single room there is literally costing them money. Now they've paid up, and so I guess the money ran out from the nonprofits on the 20th. So why aren't you going to the nonprofits and satting and making videos about them? They haven't even mentioned the names of the nonprofit. They want to blame the city, and then they want to blame the government. They want to blame daddy government. No, the government's getting smaller. You're going to have to start blaming and taking care of yourself. This whole enabling people is about to be a thing of the past. We're 200 days into a whole brave new world, and we're going to have to fight to take back a country that's sensible. So, and the fight's already started. But first things first, people want to start taking care of themselves. Or maybe this is not this country's not a good fit for you. You got to find another home if you don't want to work. But this isn't the place. And no, you can't go have a surgery where you remove a body part and say, "Oh, damn, this ain't." No, we're not playing that game either. We're not doing that.
Kate, I have to ask you, so is it a city program or is it not a city program?
Well, as you heard the city say in that story, they say the nonprofits are running these programs. The city has provided funds to these nonprofits, and we're hoping that they're working toward a solution. So again, these families will have a home past Monday.
That's 100 people that we're talking about. That is Fox 13's money investigator.
Like you look at these women's faces, right? Like they're like disgusted. But you're disgusted that they don't want to give these people free housing. Neither one of you ladies live anywhere for free. Both of you pay somewhere to live. None of you are living for free. You should be disgusted that any other Americans are literally begging for free stuff while you have to pay. That's what you should be disgusted with. Not with the fact that this hotel is a business. It's a business. It's not a free shelter. It's not a building. It's not a plantation. We haven't rebuilt those yet. We need plantations. And the reason I say I call them plantations, so that you can feel like shit when you have to admit to people, I live on a plantation by choice. You can choose to go live somewhere else, but you're going to have to pay to live there. But if you want to live here for free, plantation is the name. So I'll push that. I'm going to talk about that on X. I'm going to talk about that on Facebook tonight. And let's see how many emotional people are like, oh, we can't call it that, Rico, because blah, blah, fuck out of here. I explained why. I gave a good reason. Argue with that. If you have another logical name that's going to inspire people, then go for it. But as of now, plantation is the only thing that's going to work. If you agree or disagree, leave a comment, like and subscribe, share the video. If you can, I'm the single boyfriend on YouTube, or Rico Limbaugh on YouTube. Rico Rush Limbaugh on YouTube. So you can follow me on there on one of my channels. I'm on 8 different platforms. I'll check all of your messages. I'm going to upload some shorts, and I'll be back on with another topic in about 15 minutes after I eat some food and walk my dog. Okay, see you guys shortly. Thanks.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.